So I don't just say this, like I really live this. It's like the video I made, I'd rather die than work a 9 to 5. The real reason why is because I want to build something towards my future. And I really have done this my entire life so far. Like I could have gotten and went some towards normal job and made a lot more money. But the reason I didn't want to do that is because I want to work on something that will benefit me in my future. Now, most people that work a normal job, they don't really build wealth or build like a solid retirement for their future. Now, probably one smarter way to do this, to be honest, is to get some sort of type of job where you're making a good amount of money, like an excess of money. It could be like a nurse or a firefighter, for example. And if you're single, you're doing this in a big city, you're going to be making a lot of money. If you live in a small apartment, keep your expenses down, and have roommates, you could pretty much save like half of your earnings. And then what you'd want to do is start a side hustle at first, get the side hustle strong to where you can quit your job eventually. This is the more safe, possibly even the quicker way to be able to do this. But I don't know, for me, I'd already went to school for something, stopped doing that because I didn't like it. I didn't want to study to become a nurse again or anything like that, and I just didn't want to have a normal job. Another reason that I hate doing it is because like having somebody be your boss, having somebody dictate your time, even if you're your own boss and you're working more hours or possibly working the same amount of hours that you would be in a normal job, you still at least have the freedom to like choose when you work and when you don't work a lot more, which I prefer. I don't like having that set schedule. I don't like having somebody tell me what to do. And I don't like having the government take a ton of my money out for taxes before I even receive the money. I hate that. But the main reason, like I was saying, is because I want to work, I want to have something in my future. I want to build up systems that make money for me, that are more passive, and that make my future really, really awesome. Like I want a business where I'm making a lot of money fairly passively, to where I can travel, to where I can do all sorts of stuff in my free time and just have the freedom to do with what I want. And even right now, I could look for some sort of normal job. Right now I'm basically making almost no money. Like I'm making a little bit of money, yes, but I'm basically living off my savings, and I'm scared. I don't want to lose my savings, but right now I'm just spending my savings. But right now I'm just putting in my time to learning new skills, starting up these new sort of businesses that will hopefully make me a lot of money in the future. And I'm sure that if I stick at it, they will. Like right now, it's like, I don't know, it's noon, and I'm making this YouTube video. Right now, this YouTube channel will probably make me, I don't know, like $200 this month, which is not a lot of money. But the reason that I want to do this instead of working some sort of normal job that could possibly make me like $2,000 a month right now is because I want to build this up into my future. I want to build this up to where it can make me more passive income. I want something that I like doing for work. I want something that is going to make me way more than $2,000 a month in the future. I would rather work like 50, 60 hours of work now to build something in my future that could possibly make me way more money than a normal job, to where I only have to work like 10 or 20 hours a week or 5 hours a week or whatever it is. I want to build something like that in my future. I want to make $100,000 a year and only have to work like 5 hours a week. This is what I want. But if I work a job now, this is going to hold me back. It's going to keep me back from learning how to do these skills that I want to learn to make money online. It's going to take away time that I could be using to build up these sort of assets that generate me a ton of money in my future, and that can generate money in a much more passive way. Because my goals are like I'm saying, I want more passive income. I want to be my own boss. I want to hire people. I do not want to be hired by other people. And I'm a very firm believer that like you should shoot towards your dreams. You should try to work towards doing towards your love. And a lot of it is like, I don't know, a lot of people might see this as lazy, but like I want to have free time to be able to relax. I don't want to work 40 hours a week doing some sort of job that's going to fuck up my body and it's going to hurt me in the future. I would rather sort of bust my ass now or take the risks now and have a future that's much brighter. I would much rather do that. And a lot of people, like I've been studying people that get rich at like a young age very, very quickly. And the thing I've noticed with these people that get rich very, very quickly at a young age, and it's becoming a lot easier now with the internet. This is probably how most people are doing it. But there's two things I've noticed that separate them apart. One thing is that they are willing to work a shit ton in the beginning. They are willing to, work all day, every day, way more than a normal job. And they're willing to do this in the beginning in order to develop something very, very strong into their future. Another thing that they've done is if they built huge wealth very, very quickly, is they're taking big risks. The money that they make, they're risking that money and investing it all into their own business. These are the two things that they're doing. And so that's the thing, like if you want to be able to do this, if you want, like these goals are not impossible. A lot of people, they say, oh, like purely passive income is impossible. Or like, no, it isn't. The thing is you just have to put in the money, you have to put in the work up front. Like the more beneficial, like the more passive something is, it's just the more money, or the more work you have to put in up front, probably the more money you have to put in up front too, to be able to achieve this. But it's totally possible. Like if you think of the most passive thing is basically just having a bunch of money in like the stock market and just letting it sit there. Now over time, what the average returns of just like if you put your money in the S&P 500, you're just putting all your money into one stock basically. That is super passive. All you're doing is clicking buttons now. And the average returns over the year, over the past, like since the S&P 500 has existed, I don't know, the past 100 years or 80 years have been like 8% per year or something like that. If you have $1 million in the S&P 500 and you take out an average of 8% a year, that's $80K. You could be getting an $80K a year salary, purely passive. But obviously the hard thing is, unless you just inherited all that money or won the lottery and got super lucky, you have to put in the work to make that $1 million up front. And that's the hard part. And it's a lot scarier, it's a lot riskier, it's a lot harder to put in all that work up front when you're not going to be able to see the returns from that work in maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. It's possible that you might even put in a ton of work and never see returns from that. But that's the risk that I'm willing to take. That's the work that I'm willing to do to benefit my future, because I don't want to be average. I definitely do not want to be average. I want to have an amazing future.